One of the reasons why I developed a passion for the marimba was that it was the first instrument that I played that was so easily accessible to me. I started in middle school, and our middle school had this little 3-octave Rosk marimba that was the perfect size for me. I didn't need any stools or any other assistive devices in order for me to play it. My name is Andrew Bambridge. I'm 24 years old, and I am a percussionist, composer, and actor. What brings me the biggest joy is connecting. This can be the connection I feel when I listen to a piece of music that I really relate to, or the connection I feel when I have an intimate conversation with a friend. This also includes the connection that I feel with the audience when I perform, especially when I'm performing a piece of my own that's really personal to me.
He was introduced as the well-known composer. She said, "Oh yeah? Then how is it that I never heard of you?" He said, "Because there are no herds of me."
One of the things I especially liked about acting and doing theater was making the audience laugh. I often played comedic roles in community theater and the musical productions at my school, and it made me feel so happy whenever I did something funny on stage and it got the audience laughing.
What's up, geeks and goobers? They call me the Fire Blaster, cause my hands are blazing fast, and also I will blast and burn all my competitors.
This made shooting pixels a little strange for me because my character in that movie did some really obnoxious but funny things. When I performed them, no one on set could laugh.
You have the patterns down pretty good with these games. You're gonna be tough to beat.
I remember the first time it happened, I was kind of a little bit shocked. Like, maybe I hadn't been that very funny. But then I started to realize and get kind of used to the fact that no one was going to be able to react. Playing percussion can be very physically demanding, especially playing the marimba. When I'm practicing marimba, I'm constantly moving around, usually repeating the passages that are most physically demanding because those are the ones that I have to work on the most in order to play the piece accurately. Being only 4 feet tall, I need to stand on a platform in order for me to be at the appropriate height for playing a standard marimba. My platform consists of a long wooden board that my dad reinforced, and that board sits on 2 workout platforms on either end. In addition, because my arm span is short, I often have to change notes within a piece that are physically too far apart from each other for me to play them at the same time. This usually means that I'll either bring the notes in the left hand up by 1 octave or bring the notes in the right hand down by 1 octave. That way I can reach the notes in both hands simultaneously.
There are many sides to Andrew's personality, and there's a very focused, driven, hardworking, and intensely passionate side. And that's, I think, how he's achieved so much success at such a young age. The other side of Andrew that we all know and love is that really happy, giggly side. And these 2 sides of Andrew's personality really showcase what a special artist he is.
Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The community of musicians at Rutgers is really diverse. There are so many different paths students are taking, including going into education, jazz performance, classical performance, and musical composition like myself. And all of us have different personal interests and pursuits in music and in life. I still consider myself to be a student, but the moment when I started to consider myself as an artist as well was when I began working on a piece called Songs 1 through 9 by Stuart Saunders Smith.
gathered together to sow seeds to see weak wells, only to gather foam tethered by males, weak by Wednesday's wind.
It's a piece for percussionist and actor. And in that piece, I got to utilize the skills I developed from my musical and percussion training, as well as take inspiration from actors I really liked, specifically the fearlessness they showed in their physical comedy. When it came time for me to perform it for the first time, I remember thinking to myself that I could not be afraid to put myself out there. Even if I looked like a fool to some people. That first performance for me was still one of the most exhilarating performances I have ever had. And it was then when I knew I was an artist.